Hey, what's up guys? This is DeWyze, and today we're going to be talking about some of the gear that I use live when I'm on the road. So this guitar, actually, I was in Nashville. I was on tour, and we stopped in this store, and I picked up this Breedlove, and I started playing it, and I fell in love with it. And not too long after, my wife got it for me as a gift, and it's definitely become one of my favorite guitars to play live. I like to use different guitars for different things. So, you know, I use this one. I also like my Gibson G45, which is one of my favorite guitars to play live as well. And in the studio, I like to use my Gibson Songwriter along with this. Both I like to mic them both because they just have a really clean, deep, pure sound. But you know, this tour I've been using this guy, and the really great thing about this guitar is it's got a unique sound hole on the top here, which is a little different than most guitars. It's kind of what makes a Breedlove a Breedlove. You know, and you got all your EQs up here, which is really nice. You know, for different rooms, different intimate settings, you can change that all around. But it's one of my favorites to play, and I love it. So when I'm using the EQ on this guitar, you know, it really depends on the room and how big the room is, how small the room is, what kind of setting it is. But obviously this would only work when you're plugged in live. And I really like to bring out the bass and the warm tones in it. So I usually have the bass up a little bit. You know, and I've got everything, for this show I've got everything, you know, centered out across the board. But you know, it really always depends. I like a warm sounding guitar. I'm not really a big fan of that tinny high-end sound, so I really mess with the mids and the basses a lot. You know, keep the trebles not too high, bring those down a little bit. Really, it always depends on the room, though. It always makes a difference. You know, I try not to just set it and leave it. In different venues, obviously call for different things, but I can always get a good sense for and a good feel for what it's going to need, depending on how the room sounds. And you know, the sound guy is obviously a huge part of any venue and any show you play, because you know, you're really working with them on the sound and trying to get it to sound the best it can for the live show. You know, on all my guitars, I use different strings for different guitars, and I'm always trying out new strings. But I usually tend to go with a medium, because I think for me, I love that warmer sound. I try to stay away from those high-end sounds. When I'm recording, you know, again, I have different guitars with different strings, and every song is so intimate when I'm playing live with just me and an acoustic that I really need and want that warm sound. So I tend to use mediums. That's what I got on this bad boy right here. You know, I honestly don't change strings as much as you're supposed to. That's something that I really play the shit out of them, and I change them when I feel they need to be changed. You know, you know, when I'm going out on a new tour, I'll always throw new strings on. But when I get in a vibe and the guitar's feeling the way I want live, I usually let it ride out until they need to be changed, and then I throw them on. Because I play pretty aggressively sometimes. I do a lot of finger picking. So you know, it's got that warm, that even when I'm not plugged in, it's got that warm, kind of swampy, and that's how I like it like that, because for me, like I said, I like a warmer, you know, sounding guitar. All right, so what's really cool is that for my show, you know, I do a lot of my I've done all my recording over the past couple of years, and writing myself. A big part of my set, and part of the songs I record. You know, everyone's seen an acoustic guitar player on stage. We've all seen them. You know, when you're up there for an hour or so playing with an acoustic guitar, you can only, you know, I like getting down to those intimate moments. But when you want to get aggressive, you want to make it a pure sound. I started playing with this right here. This is obviously a Roland kick pedal, used for like an electronic kit or a trigger kit. And what I did here is we have the pedal going into this Roland TM2, which is basically the brain of like an electronic kick drum or electronic kit. And what I have here is I have all my different sounds pre-recorded. We can record sounds, we can record them ourselves and upload them, or you know, there's obviously Roland's sounds, and we can mess with a lot of the different things in here, whether it be the EQ or the volumes, all those different things. So, like on here, you can change the different. See, I have a kick and tambourine setting going right now, but you can change. There's all different kind of settings. What's really cool is, so this goes basically from the mono left. This cable here goes into the trigger. So basically this is speaking to this. And I can alter this as I want during the set as much as I want. And what's really cool is I can be playing up here. You know, I can be doing a song, and if I feel like I want to do like a quick 4 on the floor, you it's just and I've gotten really good at it. There's kind of a balance thing. You gotta be super balanced when you're doing it. When I first started doing it, I definitely was trying to figure out how to, but I've gotten I've been doing it for like 4 years now. For me, it's not about the aesthetic side of things. It's not so much about, hey, I want to go and bring this big kick drum and just be that guy with the kick drum on stage. For me, it's more about the show, the way that the crowd can feel it. And I always like to have a deep, nice, I really want it to sound like a real kick. So you run this bad boy into the kick, and I can just kind of stand up there and play as I go. It's really become an essential part of my set. I mean, it's one of my favorite things to do when I'm up there. There's nothing like playing a set and the crowd doesn't know what's going on, and all of a sudden you start slamming with a kick drum. It's pretty fucking cool. So I've had a really good time with this. And we actually used to use the old rolling, the larger rolling pad, and we kind of, after it breaking so many times on the road, it was so big, we decided to put down a smaller one, which is this guy right here, and it's just been awesome. I mean, I can do so many, I can also program claps or anything I want into that. I'm not a big fan of running tracks, on stage for me when I'm doing the acoustic thing. So to have this thing and add that extra element to the kick drum, just some percussion for the set is pretty cool. Lots of times people come up after the show like, what is that thing? And it's always kind of fun to talk to them about it. But whether you're doing something more aggressive, like but you can also play something to be like kind of like really mess with it as much as you want, or you can just lay off. There's times I'm playing a song and it's supposed to go to this, and I'll put my foot on it, and then I'll based on the crowd's reaction, how it's feeling, I can just kind of pull off, not use it at all. I've always got my capo running up here. I like using the capo a lot. As much as I love, barring chords and things, it's, but for me, I love a cable because I like having those open. I like always have that open, spacey sound. I always just like having the option, to go to a bar chord, But I do like the openness of using a capo, just having that. It's just fun. It's more fun, and I like to write like that. You can mess with alternate tunings and different things, so I love it. And then this little thing right here, this Palatine, is the best tuner I've ever used. It's a little more pricey, but what's really cool about this, which I don't know if you can see it on here, but you can, right, so you have your basic, you can tune, but what's really cool is when you play a full chord. So if you can see right there, it's actually showing me each individual chord, each string, and how it's out of tune. So I can play like a C, let's say, for instance, and I can see my low E needs to be turned up just by looking at that. So if you can see here, each one of those represents a string. So you can kind of see while you're playing, you can kind of play and see what's going on and adjust while you're playing, which is really nice. So I love having this thing around always. My actual preference is, let's see if I have it. I don't. I like the Dunlops. I like the orange. I like a medium to light pick. I play pretty hard. For someone like me who's playing pretty hard, as you can see, I really play the shit out of this thing. And so for me, I break a lot of strings, and not anymore as much. I've toned it back. But I break a lot of strings, and so for me, I always like to have like a lighter to a medium pick, just because for me, going from a finger pick, especially I do a lot of finger picking. A lot of my solos are just finger picking. So for me, to go from that, I like to, medium. I can still kind of get that same feel, the same sound out of a lighter or medium pick versus, a heavy, which is going to be just more abrupt. So I can kind of pick, and lots of times, for a long time, I'd be picking, and I would do this, I used to put the pick in my mouth all the time. So I'd be playing. I have a little break, so I'd be like, I used to do that all the time, and I would literally be up there, and it became like a really bad habit. So I've gotten better with it, but like I said, I always, I do a lot of lot of my songs, especially when you're by yourself. But even when your finger picking, I get the kick, you know, kind of get the kick. It just adds so much, and all the things together, it's all really about the one sound, you know. I don't want it ever to be like, whoa, the kick, whoa, the guitar, whoa, the vocal. It's all, I want everything to be cohesive. It's all within, you know, it's all about the sound guy and really getting the sounds right, you know. Make not every kick sound is the same for each venue, you know. Some venues are huge and they're, you know, it's a different sound. So what kick and tambo might be great, but then for another one we'll go with like what they call a jazz kick, and it's a little tighter. And but yeah, I mean it's pretty fun up here. As far as mics go, right tonight we're using a Sennheiser because lots of times when I go to a venue or playing live, if they've tuned the room or the sound guy says, you know, this mic's the one that really works here well, I'll always kind of give that a shot before I jump to what I like, which is a 58. I think a 58 is a classic live mic. You know, it's like a G45 mics as far as to me. I mean, it's just it's 9 out of 10 times when you walk into a venue and they've got. But I always have one that I bring with me that's my own because I love the 58. You know, it's all about the mids with a 58, and I got a really low. I've got a really low to high register. It's kind of, and I get really. You know, sometimes it's pretty, and then you know, I get that like grit, and 58 really picks that up well and carries nicely. But this Sennheiser is really nice as well for that. This is a really bright microphone. It's really, there's a lot of clarity in it. So you know, I always have my 58 on me, always. All right, guys, if you want to find out more, you can always go to my website, which is DeWyzeofficial.com. We just released a new single from a song that was just in the show Elementary, and it's called Wait. You can check it out on iTunes, Spotify, all those cool places. We released a record about 8 months ago called Oil and Water, which is one of my favorites records today. I wrote, recorded, produced it all myself, which I'm really excited about. We put that out. And for more, like I said, check out the website, check out Twitter, Instagram, all that stuff. I'm always posting, and please come out to a show, have a good time. I always like to talk a little bit with the crowd and, you know, give them a little insight on some of the songs and really make it, you know, I like to let all the songs, it's all about the show for me. It's all about getting everybody in that bubble with me musically, like not just playing at you, but playing, you know, with us all. And I always try to have that feeling from as big or as small as the show is. So come out to a show, check it out. You guys are awesome for hanging out, and I'll see you next time. Come out and see me.